Welcome everyone, how's it going? Thank you for joining me. Another day, another dividend. Today's one is TRIG Renewables. I know a lot of you were asking for a wee video on this and I'm glad that I could provide one. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Who are TRIG? TRIG are Renewables Infrastructure Group, specialising in mostly solar and onshore and offshore wind farms. They're currently trading at a cosy 144 pence, so £1.44, or I don't know, about $2, something like that. And as you can see from the current trend on the graph, they're doing really well. It's definitely been climbing. Renewable energies, obviously going into the future, are a massive motivator for a lot of energy companies, and obviously funds like this mightn't be too bad an investment. Obviously none of this is investment advice, of course, it's just a wee overview. But let's just jump right into it. Ticker symbol TRIG, and a dividend yield of quite a modest 4.7%. And let us jump right into the thick of it, their website. So straight into the About Us. As I was saying, they are a diversified portfolio of onshore, offshore wind farms and solar parks in the UK and, very importantly, across Europe. In Spain, Sweden, they're not just within the UK. Unlike maybe one of their competitors, Greencoat Wind UK, for example, they are just based solely in the UK. So for some people, it might provide a bit of a location diversity. You know, a lot of their solar farms are in Spain. Spain being quite the sunny country compared to the UK. Obviously, solar works a lot better there than it does here year round. Now, they're in the FTSE 250 at the moment, and they're climbing quite. I don't know if we'll see them in the FTSE 100 anytime soon. But they're definitely a pretty good contender. You can go in here to why you want to invest with TRIG. They go into the fact that they're diversified, locations and weather and revenue types and energy markets. So obviously they've quite a lot of diversification, which is one of their real strong points in the renewable side of things. And you can go into the likes of their business model, and you can go as in-depth as you want with any company website. Obviously, for this video, I do have to pick and choose, and we will be jumping into their portfolio. So I'll be skipping the sustainability, and they have no real cool presentations at the moment in their investor section, but I will have that in a pinned comment or in the description for anyone that wants to see. Gives you all the information you need, reports, news, Q&A, calendars for all their financial stuff and that, and then news and media and their contact page. Let's jump over to their portfolio. One of my favourite assets for looking at any company is, where are these assets based? What are they? And TRIG delivers when it comes to this. So let's have a wee look here. You can filter by country, so you can see, oh, they actually have some in Northern Ireland, where I live. Oh, so they do. Let's see, onshore. Okay, well, they haven't invested anything new recently, because a lot of these are commissioned in pre-2007, so their equity in all of them is 100%, so they own them, and they're all onshore out Landrum's Bridge, and actually no, I know Loch Hill. That's pretty cool. See, the things you learn when you have a wee look. Where are the other locations? Republic of Ireland, they have Scotland as well, Northern Sweden, Wales, Germany, England, Sweden, France, Spain, and German North Sea. Well, there you go. That's pretty good. Let's take that off so it brings just all of them up again. Net capacity. Let's see. Where's their biggest one? It's I'm gonna say it looks like Jadras. So I'll probably pronounce that really bad. Sorry for any Swedish viewers in the chat. Net capacity 212 megawatts. It's the largest one, commissioned in 2013. Vestas. They're really, really large wind turbines. So that gives you a bit of an idea. Siemens, their wind, that's solar. I suppose if you just see right beside it. I was trying to be smart there, but let's see. Spain, Scotland, England, Germany. So their top 5 net capacity megawatts are across 5 different countries. That's pretty good. And 1 solar, 4's wind. 3 are onshore or offshore, and 1's onshore. There we go. Okay, let's see. I want to have a look. Year commission. So obviously their older ones seem to all be based in Northern Ireland. Let's see their newer ones. So we have one here for 2024. It'll be based in Sweden, Spain. So in terms of UK investment, there doesn't seem to be anything within the next few years. And of course, you come down here, their last one was actually 2022 in Scotland, and then 2020 in England. So at the moment, they seem to be concentrating quite a bit on solar in Spain and onshore wind in Sweden. Let's have a wee nosy. We can go into the resources, actually. Is that on my next page? It is. We can see a few photos just to sort of give you an idea here. So there's some onshore wind in the Republic of Ireland. Tamar Heights in England, solar. Let's see. Landrum's Bridge. Yep, I know that place very well on this wee part of the world in Northern Ireland. So very, very rare and featured in many videos, so it's quite nice. Let's see. In France, wind, solar in Scotland. And they have a few more pages. Oh, that's a carport in Spain. Ah. And then a massive offshore wind farm in Germany on the German North Sea. That's, yeah, those offshore wind turbines. Have you ever seen the size comparison? There are some in development at the moment. They'll be bigger than the Eiffel Tower in size. It's actually crazy to imagine, but they assembled quite a lot of those massive wind farms, I think for actually UK wind, or Greencoat UK Wind, here in Northern Ireland in the docks. So I got to see some of the massive, really, really large wind turbines, and they are quite the sight, and transporting them looks like quite the job. So we'll jump on over to simply Wall Street now. This here is a fantastic resource that I've been using to screen, compare, have a real deep in look for a lot of companies. Now, I'm not saying it falls a tiny bit short for these renewable funds for some unknown reason, because if you go down here to valuation, it can't show me priced earnings versus peers. It says insufficient data, so I'm not too sure if, because UK Wind and Bluefield Solar are the exact same. They're sort of competitors in that field. So I'm not too sure there. And then future growth is forecasted at minus 31%. So they seem to be growing and doing quite well. And then the forecast analysis is just annihilating them. So I don't know where this information's coming from. So take some of these sections with a grain of salt. In terms of value, or in terms of, let's get back to the top. Yep. So they score quite well in company health. These funds tend to be quite healthy in that field anyway. Dividends, not too bad. It's growing. Value at the moment seems to be pretty good as well. Past performance, grand, and future is in the dump, but I don't think it is. I don't know where those analysis scores come from. So that's why you check through multiple websites to get a good idea, and I don't believe that's correct, so we will skip that. In terms of valuation, their fair valuation on a discounted cash flow model is 65% undervalued. Of course, that is not a static number. Do not take these as exact. It's just when you use a discounted cash flow model, this is what it comes up with. So it's trading below, and sometimes these models work quite well, sometimes not so much. That's why you have to look at a lot of aspects of a company before making an investment. Future growth, we'll skip that. Past performance, quality earnings, the earnings trends growing up, and growth's going up, so that's not too bad. Financial health, okay, number 4. They score really well out of this because their assets to liabilities is really low. This fund it owns a massive equity in an usually already established renewable site. So I'd say that this is quite correct, and there's probably a bit more to it. Of course, I'm not an absolutely seasoned investor, but stat wise, it's not too bad at all. Dividend. Now, dividend, I don't know why it's not stable. I don't know why it says it's not growing. Again, this website kind of falls a little bit when it comes to these renewable stocks. So we'll not take that at value. Looking here, they are slowly growing year on year, which is pretty neat. Let's see. And then cash to payout is 88%, which again, it's below 100%, so it's not too bad. Let's go on to this wee section. I just wanted to flag it up I do have a series where I compare companies with their competitors through Simply Wall Street, and in this episode, there'll be a separate video down in the pinned comment. It might not be released if you're watching this video a few days after, but it'll be out within the week. And if you're watching this video into the future, then this video will be available, where I compare TRIG versus Blue Solar Income Fund and Greencoat UK Wind. The latter two specialising in either just solar or just wind. So it's a good wee battle, good wee lineup between the three, and I go into as much depth as I can. Future growth for all three is terrible, so I don't really know where that's coming from. But the rest of the analytics are quite an interesting look at. I just wanted to plug that in the middle of this video. So we're going to move on to one of my favourite websites, Dividend Max. It's very, very good tool. Again, not always 100% accurate. You'll find that UK stocks are somewhat neglected. US stocks are pretty fine-tuned in most of these websites, so I've got to go through a few of them, and sometimes you've just got to average out things and then go and do a wee bit of your own research. But that's half the fun when it comes to investing, because you always want to understand as much of a company you're investing in as possible. So let's see here. Next dividend is it went X 21 days ago. For anyone new to the channel, I always like to just throw it out here, because some people come here through a YouTube search of looking into this one stock, and I want to explain what an X dividend date is. It is the date that you must own the stock in order to be entitled to the dividend payout, which you get on the pay date. Declaration date's usually just the date that say, this is the dividend, this is the X date, and this is the payment date. It's not super important. A lot of, because you get quite a few months in advance. They typically pay 4 dividends per year. There we go. If you had 100 shares, now obviously trading at £1.44, that would be £144. You'd have got a quarterly payment at the moment of £1.71, and it is indeed increasing. As you can see, back in 2014 it was 6p, and as of today it is now it's 6.76 pence. Wait, that's per share. I was sitting wondering there. Right, let's swap this down to 1 share. So 2p, you're averaging about 2p per quarter. Averaging, as you can see, it's kind of half or into decimal points at this point. So yeah, from 2017, it has continually been growing their dividend. It seems to be sort of every year they up it. And they didn't stop through COVID. So that's another nice wee pointer. Could be a really good dividend growth stock for anyone's portfolio into the renewables. I have a few qualms with the renewables, and I will be explaining that in a few vlogs and in other videos. But yeah, let's see what is next on to Dividend Max. Let's go TRIG. I normally have this open, but for once I don't. Let's see. Last year up 15%, and in the last 3 months up 9%. All right, nice. They're based in Guernsey, so that's where their headquarters is. Closed-ended investment company. All right. Let's see. Again, this is the trading brokerage that I use, and it gives a wee bit of their balance sheet, gives a bit of cash flow, and gives income statements and whatnot. Again, not everything is 100% accurate, so I always recommend that you go through all the websites that I have listed and any additional ones that you can have a look at. And sometimes there's videos that other creators do. I think in this game, you can't just rely on one source. I love that you all love my content, and I try my very best to give as much of an overview as I can, and I learn day in, day out. I learn new things to look out for. But one of the most important things in this game is always checking out other creators, so I highly recommend having a wee nosy. Some people do an hour dive into these companies. I know some of you that mightn't be your cup of tea, so hope this video has helped out as best it can, and hope your dividend journey is going well. So yeah, thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.